I used to think that weight loss was just about food and exercise. And technically, how heavy you are is directly linked to how much movement you do and how many calories you consume. But if you're stuck in the cycle of losing and regaining weight, then it's probably not because you don't know enough about burpees or broccoli. It's because of the stories that you keep telling yourself. And I know that sounds cringy, but bear with me. We all have quiet, sneaky thoughts that live in the back of our brain. They shape your actions, they can sabotage your progress, and critically, they can keep you stuck. When I finally lost the weight, and more importantly, kept it off, it was because I challenged the thoughts in my head. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the 4 lies I told myself that kept me fat. This might be confronting and it might be uncomfortable, but it could be the video that you need to start taking action and rewriting that story. Lie number 1 is that it's not my fault. This one kept me stuck for years. I used to believe that my weight wasn't my fault. And in some ways, that may have been true, but it gave me a free pass not to try. Because if it wasn't my fault, then, well, why bother? You see, I handed my power to everyone and everything else. I'd blame the fact that I learned to use food for comfort from the people I observed in my family. And I'd say things like, well, that's just how we all cope. I'd blame the fact that I was a broke student with no money. Everyone's eating rubbish. Everyone's going out drinking. This is so hard for me, I'm not even gonna try. I blame my body, I'm just big boned, I've got broad shoulders, I'm naturally heavy. And in telling myself that it wasn't my fault, I created the perfect conditions to stay stuck. But eventually the penny dropped and I realized that while some of it wasn't my fault, it was my responsibility and I was able to respond. That's literally what that word means. Responsible. And that doesn't mean blame, it means power, because you are not a passive character in this story. And when I stopped outsourcing my results and my health and my fitness to other people, I took that power back. And that's when things started to shift because no one was coming to save me, and that's a good thing. You see, if you're blaming the menopause, your age, your partner, your work schedule, I get it. And the reality is there will be things in your life that make losing weight uniquely difficult. But if nothing changes, nothing changes. And the only person at the end of the day who has to suffer from that is you. So what if you stopped waiting for your situation to change and you decided to change within it? What would that look like and how would that impact your life? Lie number 2 was that I'll focus on weight loss when life calms down. I told myself this one a lot. When everything slows down, that's when I'll really start to commit. When work gets less stressful, I'll stick to my routine. When that holiday is been and gone, I'll then start. When this busy season ends, when Christmas is over, that's when I'll get stuck in. But let me ask you this, when was the last time that your life actually calmed down? Here's what I realized, and this shifted a lot for me. If you learn to lose weight in a vacuum, when everything is perfect, then that means that your ability to keep the weight off depends on your life staying perfect, and it never will. There will always be something, a birthday, a weekend away, God forbid, a poorly child. So if your weight loss plan relies on everything going right, it is not gonna last. Keeping the weight off means learning to stay the course despite the chaos. And you need to learn to handle meals out without hitting the screw it button for 3 days on end. How to manage a weekend visit from the mother-in-law without needing to self-medicate with food. And how to notice that you're overworked and overstressed without turning to the bottle of wine. That's what real fat loss looks like, and none of it comes from waiting for the perfect moment. Lie number 3, and this is an interesting one, is that I told myself that dieting was too restrictive. You see, this one tripped me up for years because the thing that I wanted was food freedom. I wanted to stop thinking about calories, to stop thinking about food rules, to stop thinking about how much I hated my body. I wanted to eat normally, like a regular person. So every time someone suggested calorie tracking or food journaling, I'd talk myself out of it. That sounds too rigid. I don't want to become too obsessive with this. But here's the truth that I didn't want to hear. Discipline creates freedom because you can only become relaxed around food once you've learned how to be intentional with it. Once you've practiced eating in a calorie-controlled manner without banning food groups. Once you've learned to include chocolate without having the whole family size bar. Once you learn how to portion your food in a way that fuels you and fills you up rather than drains you. And that kind of freedom doesn't come from avoidance, it comes from practice. I thought that tracking my food was obsessive, but the real thing that was obsessive was thinking about food 24/7, which was my reality and is the reality of so many women that I work with. Going down that path was making my relationship with food worse, and I realized that if nothing changes, nothing changes. I started tracking, not forever, but to learn. I built awareness around my habits, And I stopped fearing structure. Food freedom doesn't happen from the absence of discipline. It's what follows discipline. And finally, lie number 4 that I told myself was, I know what to do, I'm just not doing it. This one sounds responsible. It sounds quite noble, like honesty, but it's one of the most deceptive lies I told myself, because technically, I did know what to do. Eat less, move more, consume fewer calories than I expend. The basics were there, but I wasn't doing them. And it wasn't because I wasn't lazy, it was because I didn't know how to make those rules fit my life. I couldn't lose weight without white-knuckling my way to weight loss. I didn't know how to stay consistent when life got messy, stressful, or unpredictable. And I didn't know how to manage my emotions without turning to food or drink. And that's why I wasn't doing it. Yes, there was some knowledge missing, even though I was kidding myself thinking that there wasn't, but the main thing that was missing was implementation. And that's true for almost every woman that comes to work with me and my team. They don't need another set of rules, and they're not desperate for more sexy weight loss hacks. They need someone in their corner helping them apply what they might already know, but they need to be someone who understands that life is stressful, that they will want to quit on occasion, that things rarely go to plan, but you can still progress when they don't. That's why coaching works, because it's not more knowledge. It's support, structure, and accountability. It's about knowing that someone's looking over your shoulder when you are ready to give up, and that they won't give up on you even when you want to give up on yourself. So if you've been telling yourself, I know what to do, but I'm just not doing it, maybe you're ready to stop going at it alone. And if you're nodding along, then go to fatlossfundamentals.co.uk and let's see what me and my team can do to help you.